Hey, it's a story for you guys. Earlier today, I drove to Jacinda's school. She's having a tough day, and she wanted to come home. So I picked her up. We're driving home. We're listening to music. We're doing our normal thing, making her feel better. And we stopped. I stopped. There was a yellow light turning red, and I realized. I said, I'm just gonna slow down and not go through because it's a busy street, and there are things that turn left. So I stopped. And I'd stopped for like, I don't know, a second or so. We're sitting there, and then boom, this big impact. Got rear-ended, and I heard the screech, tires, before. So someone was going too fast, too close behind, and they had thought I'd barrel through that. So, yeah. In any case, I get out, and this is a very, very busy road. It's, if you're a Connecticut person, it's the Derby Orange line on, I forget what route that is, but it's going 34, on Route 34. And I get out of the car, and it's raining, and it's a kid. It's like a 17-year-old little kid with like these unfortunate piercings and like a house caterpillar kind of mustache, like feathery, he's like this thin, as big as my thumb, my pinky. Little hoodie, and he's just shell shocked. He's mortified, doesn't know what to do. And so I tell him, hey, listen, this is dangerous where we are. Follow me. I'm gonna pull over right here. Everything's cool. Everything's chill. It was we weren't hurt in the impact or anything. The airbags didn't go off, but bumper got smashed. So we pull over. I pull over. I wave him in. And he gets out, and he just doesn't know what to do. And I realize, like, this is somebody's son. This is a little boy. Like 2 years ago, he was a tiny boy, and now he's a bigger kid. But still, just like a kid. And he's shell shocked. He's like, what do I do? How do I? And I tell him, it's okay. This wheel has been invented. Breathe, relax. I'll lead you through everything. You rear-ended me, so no matter what, whenever any car hits another car from behind, it goes on your insurance. It's just like a rule of the world that you'll come to find out. You seem young. This is probably your first accident, I hope. And sure enough, it was. And I say, I'm going to call the police right now, but you're not going to be arrested. You're not in trouble. You're gonna, your parents are gonna be mad. And he said, how much is this gonna cost? And I explained this is how insurance works, and you're gonna be led through this process. It'll all be okay. So we're waiting for the police to come, and I start to tell him. I said, listen, I get it that you'd be sort of afraid. I present a little bikery. My hair was down and everything, and but my daughter's in the car. I'm somebody's dad, and I have another daughter who's a newer driver, and I feel for you for what you're going through. I understand your heart's pumping, everything. You don't know what's gonna happen, but like, you're safe here, and that's what I want you to understand is that luckily you're very safe. It's gonna be a costly lesson, like money-wise, a little bit, but it's ultimately gonna be a very cheap lesson for you because, me, you, and the lamppost, like, this is how driving works. Or, they tell you keep your distance, 1-2 seconds, and you kind of disregard that for the most part, but this is the reason why. And also, life lesson learned, anywhere you're going, you don't have to go that fast. You'll get there. This is slowing you down, but more than that, you can get hurt, and be happy that you're okay. I'm okay. Everybody's okay. Relatively speaking, it's going to be a cheap life lesson. But the thing that occurred to me was this: is that this young boy, I was the guy he hit into, and I don't know. I'm weird about shit, and then I have this sort of, grand vision of life and time and whatever the fuck. But like, I don't sweat stuff like this. As long as everybody's okay, I'm okay. And like, it occurred to me, I'm the kind of guy you want your kid to hit into. in instances like this, because I felt very parental. I felt very protective of this kid. And it occurred to me that there are many people in today's world that wouldn't and that don't. And while we're sitting there waiting, telling the kid, like, listen, this is why you need to be safe, not just for your own, car, your safety. You're hurtling through physics dictates that, there's a lot more energy going on in any vehicle than you really think about, but beyond that, in today's world, you hit into me, and lucky for you, this is how I react to shit like this. But there are people who are just simmering pots of rage, and they're unhappy, and they're filled with hate for their lives and for other people and for kids with little shitty mustaches and piercings, who don't see them as kids, as children, as somebody's son, and they just be incredibly aggro and douchey, and they have concealed carries. And it occurred to me, like, this is another reason why it's such a dangerous moment, why everybody hates each other at the moment, or no, not everybody hates each other, why there's a faction of a sizable faction, like 35% of the country at the moment is just filled up on Ghostbusters 2, evil goo, feel bad stuff. And they're just filled with anger all the time, and they're all about guns. And this could be more dangerous for the kid to get out of the car and talk to a guy who gets out screaming and yelling, and escalating, something that's already as bad as it's going to get, and doesn't need to get any worse. And so anyway, I went further. I talked the kid down. I'm like, I said, listen, this is also a thing now. I'm going to tell you, because you're new to all this, but I'm older and I understand what's happening here. After this is going to be all said and done, police are going to come 10-15 minutes. We'll both be home, we'll both be on our way home. But when you go, what's going to happen is the reality of it will all hit, and this adrenaline that's in your body will dump out. And when it does, you're going to start to shake. Your legs are going to start to move up and down. Maybe your teeth are even going to chatter. It's totally normal, and it'll be totally fine. You'll be okay. But breathe through it, and understand when it comes. Like, oh, that's what the weird old guy told me about. And he was like, he hugged me at the end of it. He thanked me for being such a nice person to hit into. But yeah, so I don't know. The larger point is this: like, be kind. Shit happens, and everybody's making this all up as they go along, and we can't. The only thing we can control in bad situations are our reactions to them. And yeah, fuck Trump people, because the next, after I told the kid this, like, hey, there are aggro people out there sitting on rage pots, pots of rage, powder kegs. When I drove off, the next red light I stopped at, there's this big fucking Dodge Ram asshole mover vehicle with a sticker in his back window there, that says "fuck Biden," but the F's are fashioned out of like AR-15s. And I thought to myself, like, fuck, it's a good thing that kid didn't smash into that asshole. And I don't know, don't be that asshole. Don't countenance those assholes in your life, and when you see them, tell them they're bad people. And I don't know. I was gonna write this all in a big post, but I figured it's somehow better to speak it. So here I am. And yeah, all right.